Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This week, we made easy, affordable, delicious dinners for my family of 4. So let's get in the kitchen and let's get cooking. So I'm going to start with my loaded baked potato pierogi casserole. I've got some water on the stove to come to a boil. I'm going to cook about 5 slices of bacon in my skillet. I'm going to drop the pierogies. Now this package only came with 12 pierogies, and I've never cooked pierogies before. So I'm very interested to kind of see how this is going to work, but I just dropped those into my water, and this is the loaded baked potato pierogies. So I just drop those into the water, and they say when they float, they're done. So that's what I'm doing. So I've got all my pierogies in the water here. And then I'm going to work on the sauce for the casserole. So I'm going to start the sauce by adding in a cup of sour cream. Y'all, I love anything with sour cream. I just love the flavor that it gives. I'm going to be adding in about a cup of half and half, and then we're going to be adding in some cheese. But I almost forgot. Before I add in the cheese, I'm going to add in some dried thyme leaves. You can leave this out if you don't have it, but I am going to be adding in some thyme to add some flavor to our cheese sauce. I'm also going to be adding in some kosher salt and coarse black pepper because every recipe needs a little salt and pepper. Next, I'm going to add in what I have left of this bag of sharp cheddar cheese. I think it was about half a cup that I had left in that bag. And so then I'm going to open this bag of mozzarella and add a good handful of that as well. I'm going to give this a stir, and this is going to be the sauce for my pierogi casserole. So now I'm going to take about half of that bacon I cooked up, and I'm just going to kind of crunch it up into that sauce so that there'll be a little bit of bacon going throughout the casserole. And then I'm going to leave the other half of the bacon there for topping the casserole. Next, I drained my pierogies that I had in the boiling water. I placed them in my casserole dish, and now I'm just going to pour this sauce over top of the pierogies. I'm going to make sure and get that well coated, and then we will top with the bacon and cheese. Once I have topped with the remaining bacon that I crumbled, I added in a little bit more cheddar cheese, and then I added a little bit of mozzarella cheese. You could change up the cheese, just whatever you have on hand. This is what I had, and so this is what I covered the pierogi casserole with. I baked this at 400 degrees for about 25 minutes, and this is what it looks like out of the oven. It looks absolutely amazing. Here is my plate. I like this dish. The only thing I would say is next time, I think I would not get the loaded baked potato. I would just get the cheddar cheese flavor. The next dinner this week was a crock pot meal, and so I was prepping it the night before so that it would be ready to put in my crock pot or turn the heat on the next morning right before I went to work. So I took this package of cube steak and I just laid it in the bottom of my crock pot. And I am going to season that. I know I'm going to have to put this in 2 layers. So I'm going to season with salt and pepper, add the remaining cube steak, and season again. After I have placed my cube steak and seasoned with kosher salt and coarse black pepper, I'm now going to be adding in 1 packet of this French onion soup mix. I'm going to just sprinkle this over the top of my cube steak. Next, I'm going to add in 1 can of beef consomme. You could add beef broth, whatever you have on hand. This is what I had, so I'm going to be adding this on top of the steaks. The next thing I'm going to add is a can of cream of mushroom soup. So I give this a stir, I put the lid on, and I place this in my fridge. And then all I have to do tomorrow morning is put it in my crock pot and set it on low for 10 hours. So when I got home from work, I pulled out these rolls and these green beans from my freezer. I'm going to be serving this alongside my country style steak. I'm just going to put my green beans in a pot with some water, garlic salt, salt and pepper. Keep it simple. I've got some potatoes. This is the rest of my bag of russet potatoes. I've got them chopped up. I'm making up some mashed potatoes. Here is my steak after it's cooked all day in that amazing gravy. It smelled so good. This is going to be an amazingly delicious dinner. And here are our plates. This was a southern delightful dinner. So we had the green beans, the rolls, the mashed potatoes with the country style steak and gravy. This was delicious and a nice change from the meals that we've been having. The last meal that I'm going to share with you from our week is a barbecue chicken French bread pizza. So I took my French loaf here and I'm just cutting it in half and getting that opened up and on my sheet pan. The next step is to add the sauce. So I'm just taking some sweet barbecue sauce and I'm just spreading a little bit of that onto my French bread halves. This is going to be the sauce for the pizza. Now, while I am preparing my pizzas here, I have been cooking up 2 boneless chicken breasts that I had in the freezer. I had thawed those out the night before, and I've been cooking those up on my stove. I have then shredded and cubed up the 2 chicken breasts once they have been cooked, and this is going to be the chicken part of our barbecue chicken pizza. Now I'm going to take that chicken that I have already prepped and I'm going to be spreading that around on top of my barbecue sauced French bread here, and I'm going to make sure that those pieces are rather small. So once I have the chicken on there, I see that I have quite a bit of chicken left, and I have 2 of those onion rolls from another recipe I did earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and add some of the barbecue sauce to this chicken, give that a mix, and I'll have enough for 2 barbecue chicken sandwiches if that's something that my family would prefer. Next, I'm going to be taking a very small portion of this red onion and I'm going to be making very thin slices just to put on the barbecue pizza. If you are not a big onion fan, you do not have to add the onion. This purple onion was very strong, and so I did not put a ton. I just scattered around a few of those thin slices on top of the chicken. Next, I'm going to be adding on the best part of any pizza, and that is the cheese. So I am going to be adding on a little bit of sharp cheddar cheese and getting that spread around onto my French bread pizzas. I'm also going to be topping with mozzarella cheese. I have my oven preheating to 425 degrees. The chicken is already cooked through, so all I'm needing to do is melt cheese in the oven. So I'm going to place this in the oven for about 10 minutes, just until the cheese melts. Here is one of the barbecue chicken sandwiches. I love using up anything extra, and so this was a great way to use up those onion rolls. And so this was an option, but here are the French bread pizzas out of the oven. Look how delicious. These are scrumptious, and they tasted so good. This French bread pizza with the barbecue sauce and the barbecue chicken, it was delicious. Our meals this week were exceptional. The Perogie Casserole was a great new find. Y'all, the country style steak was by far my favorite this week, and I think for the whole family. And these French bread pizzas was an easy way to make a fun dinner for the family. I hope you enjoyed our recipes this week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.